So how do you, as a teacher in the class, how do you as a teacher outside the class, bring about order without authority? Right? Please tell me how you do it, because I want to learn from you. I'm the new teacher. I'm passionately interested in this, not merely intellectual, not merely I'm here for a job, but I like this whole way of living. So please help me to learn how to deal with the student, that having no authority doesn't imply disorder. Having no authority doesn't imply each one does what he likes. Because we're all living in a small community together, responsible for the whole of this school, the buildings, the gardens, the whole of it. As we said day before yesterday, it's like a man in a submarine who is, every sailor is responsible for the whole total movement of the submarine. So, how do you work this out with the student so that he doesn't create disorder, that he's punctual, that he's orderly, etc., etc.? How do you work this out?
You mentioned it doesn't mean doing what you like. You mentioned it doesn't mean doing what you like, and I think many students, many people, do equate freedom with that word, and they equate authority with the opposite. In other words, someone telling them what to do.
So how?
Perhaps we would have to start with, what does it mean, what you like?
So how do you work this out? I'm learning from you all. I'm the new teacher. Here, how do you work this out?
By going into how do likes and dislikes become established, and what is behind them.
Please tell me. I'm learning. I'm here for the first time. I'm very eager to learn how you do this. Not how only, not the method, but how does this come about? To have no authority. We won't go into all the inward meaning of it, which is extremely complex. But dealing with each other and with the student who comes here conditioned, rebellious, in revolt against all authority, inclined to do what he likes, and resisting or being impudent when you said you follow, all that follows. In what way do you communicate to the student this non-authoritarian way of living?
Could we begin by not coming to any conclusion as to whether there is an authority or there is not an authority, and then look to see...
How do you do it? What do you do? Do you actually do this? You, Mr. Jenkins, do you actually begin saying to yourself, look, I don't know anything about it, let's find out. Have you done this? Or are you telling me as an idea or as an actuality? Sorry, I'm the new teacher. I have a right to question you.
Well, in one sense we do it. The students are, in almost every meeting, some student will say, you were acting as an authority in this case, in this instance, so that we look at it. We're sometimes, this rule or this suggestion or this
Do you
idea
talk,
is
if I may ask,
challenged.
do you discuss this problem with the student?
We have to do it. It's raised time and time again.
So what happens at the end of the discussion, at the end of year? Do they understand the complexity of the nature of non-authoritarian activity, and therefore they are orderly?
I think some of them do, yes.
What do you mean some of them? Majority of them don't do it?
Majority don't.
Why? I'm sorry, I'm the new teacher, so I'm learning from you, so I'm not being impudent. Why don't the majority of them haven't learned? Have you, as a teacher, convey to the student this way of living, and do you have no authority? And therefore, capable of cooperation? Authority means, authority to an idea. No. An ideal establishes an authority, right? For which we're all working together, for an ideal. Or a person who represents that ideal, who then becomes the authority. Or we have ourselves ideals, and we want to establish those ideals here. Or we feel this way of living in an authoritarian way, and therefore we will cooperate with each other. I don't know if I'm conveying this. Do we do this here? When you tell me, as a new teacher, not to be self-centered, without a motive, is there an authoritarian drive in me? You follow? Please, I'm new teacher. Please teach me. I want to learn from you.